I was extremely pissed off about an hour ago. I was having a conversation with a young black woman about Greek life. Don't know how it came up, but it ended up coming up because she's involved in Greek life. And there was a lot of things that she was saying that was really getting underneath my skin. Shit that was pissing me off. Even defensive, deflective shit. When I challenged her about what black Greeks are actually doing in the community. Defense mechanism number one. You're criticizing the Greeks just because you're mad that you're not a Greek or you didn't cross over. What type of weak ass shit is that? What's another one? Another one would be, well, we're not the problem. The problem is Ray Ray and Pookie out there. They're the ones that are committing all the damage and committing all the crime and everything. We're not the problem. At least we're doing something, right? I've looked around. At what these black fraternities and sororities do, but I'm mainly talking about the black fraternities. I don't give a fuck about the black sororities because, as far as I'm concerned, what the women's responsibility in the community is not as heavy as the weight that the men have to bear in terms of what men have to do in the community. But one of the things that really gets underneath my skin when it comes to the black fraternity stuff, and I'm saying this as somebody who's been in these pro-black conversations online, whether it's, we all know the online pop. For the people who've been around for like the last 10 years and followed me, and just the general conversation, the back and forth, and the who's who online of these conversations, right? And what was I going to say? I'm going blank already because I'm tired. My thing is what are the black fraternities doing? What are they doing in the community? Right? I looked it up and, we had a turkey drive, or, we had a winter coat drive or something like that. No, I'm not saying that any of those things aren't good and they're not positive, right? But she actually exposed herself in one of the things, talking about how they had to do a lot of stuff at the university in which she was at because that was the only way that they could keep their chapter at the school, right? Because at the university that she was at, which was predominantly white, that's what they had to do because, the white folks, they didn't care for there to be black fraternities there. But if the black fraternities were doing things that, they could claim, then they would basically leave them alone. One of the problems that I had when I was in college when it came to the black fraternities and why I wanted to, would even want to join a black fraternity was that they didn't even have a house. At the time, I didn't really think anything of it. It was something that bothered me, but I didn't think in terms of like how weak that is. That you a 100-year-old black organization, right? Over 100 years old, and you don't even have a house. You don't even have a house on campus. You telling me about all the wealth and all the power and resources that these Greek black organizations have, and they don't even have a fucking house? That's like a nigga telling you about, he gonna take you on a date or something, and he gonna, girl, you need to link up with me and everything, and the nigga don't even got a car. Can't even barely take care of himself, but he talking about, we doing big things. I'm doing big things out here, girl. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And this is the part that really angered me. This is the part that really makes me want to dig in black Greeks' asses. A couple of things. Is that when I came online, right? I came online with the arrogance of, I'm an educated black man. I went to college, but I wasn't Greek. Or as they like to call us, I was a GDI, meaning a goddamn individual. That's what I was. Okay. And when I went to school, as a goddamn individual, right? You know, I graduated with that attitude, that arrogance that you get from college, you know, especially the atmosphere in the black community, especially as a black man, when they tell you that, you know, your statistics say that you're going to be dead or in jail, right? That you're not going to make it, right? And you're like, hey, I'm not dead or in jail. I went to college, right? And you think that, you know, as many of us have been told, and why we have the part of the reason why you have a lot of frustrated, educated black men out here is because we were told, in order to keep us, you know, focused on, you know, finishing our education, right, and bettering ourselves, that, you know, yeah, when you get on, you're going to make some money, you're going to be working in corporate America, and there's going to be Kerry Washingtons wrapped around the block. That didn't happen. You got out of college, and it was mostly single mothers and baby mamas and shit, because Ray Ray and Pookie done already got to them. Right? Which right there, that alone should tell you the lack of power, the lack of influence that black fraternities have on the black community, the lack of impact they have. They like to run around and try to act like, oh, you know, they're the most premier black men in the fucking community, and the community's all fucked up. You know, I woke up today and I got a notification on my phone about some 2-year-old black girl in Philadelphia. Actually, I don't even know if she's black, but I'm assuming that she's black, just looking at the murder statistics, and the fact that there's a spike in homicides in Philadelphia right now. I don't even know if it's the matter of the fact that the media is just reporting on it more because they're trying to push this gun control agenda down everybody's throat, because the white media got called out on the fact that they don't give a fuck about black bodies piling up in inner cities. They only care about white school mass shootings. So now they're countering that by reporting on every time there's a freaking homicide. And Philadelphia's got a really bad opioid epidemic problem. So I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's the media or it's the fact that they're having a freaking turf war between gangs in Philadelphia, because you got the biggest, largest open air opium or opioid market in the United States, which is Kensington and the Badlands, you know, of Philadelphia. So I don't know what it is. But they running around like it's goddamn Chicago. Every day it's more murders and whatnot. But, okay. Weeks before that, there was, you know, people getting shot multiple times, you know, like standing over the body, emptying the clip type of shit. You know, just savage behavior. Okay. And my thing is as somebody who went to college and had to humble themselves when they came online with the whole, you know, with just even people who just ain't even, I don't want to say street niggas, but just, you know, yeah, I criticized a lot of aspects of the streets and street culture, and very deserving of that criticism. But by the same token, us so-called educated lames had a lot of shit to learn about what we needed to be criticized about. And the thing is as an educated lame, which I know the Greeks, they're not going to agree with the title, but that's what the fuck they are, a bunch of educated lames. They're in the same fucking boat. We in the same goddamn boat. And that nigga standing over there because he got some goddamn Greek letters with his fucking chest out, acting like not only is he better than the rest of the black community, not only is he more special because he crossed over, but he's in a better position than me. He's in a better light than me. I'm like, nigga, how the fuck? We in the same goddamn boat, nigga. Just because you got some Greek letters and you want to sit there and you want to point to some hoity-toity shit, you know, some uppity black boule shit, and y'all niggas ain't doing shit. We don't see you. We don't see your work. I'll be goddamn if you're going to sit there and stand there with your motherfucking chest out when I already know that y'all niggas ain't about shit. Shit, when it comes to freaking educated niggas, the freaking the people who crossed over gotta be at least, you know, maybe anywhere from 10 to 20% of that. Right? I mean, even when you look at the black people that go to college, you only talking about 20% of all black people in America. It's only about 20%. That's the rate at which we go to college. It's something like 20, like right around 20%. When you go into urban environments, it's even less. Just to demonstrate the lack of impact that these people have in urban environments, which is when even those that come out of the urban environments and go to college, they most certainly ain't moving back to North Philly. So right off top, I'm like thoroughly pissed off, right? So you talking 20%, and of that 20% of all black people that go to all these colleges and universities out here, how many are actually Greek? Would you say that the majority of people out here are GDIs, or would you say the majority of people out here are Greek? The majority of people out here are fucking GDIs, even if they went to fucking college. So you talking about a very small population of black people who went to college and who are educated. Not to mention the fact, as an educated, lame my motherfucking self who's pro Second Amendment and knows how hard it is to get black men to be about the goddamn Second Amendment, I already know that most of these niggas ain't strapped. I was talking to Cap the other day. We were talking about, an organization, creating an organization. And I said right off top, as I've said previously, if you don't have a gun permit, we can't be friends. If I started any organization, a black man, to be a part of the organization, the number one requirement for you to be a part of the organization is you would have to have one semi-automatic rifle, and you would have to have a handgun with a pistol permit to carry that handgun. If you live in a state that's restrictive, you would have to have a non-resident permit, because I want to know that you have the mentality to go and get the permit, because you at least are preparing for it just in case some shit popped off. I don't need any bougie niggas a part of some organization that I started that is so goddamn bougie that they think some fucked up shit can't happen to them. That they think that they don't need to be able to protect themselves. I don't need those type of bougie people because they got white friends in high places. Fuck them niggas. At the end of the day, you're going to have to fight violence with violence when it comes to certain things. And nobody actually wants to say that. When you got motherfuckers running around the black community shooting little girls in the back of their head with a fucking gun, and that happened in your community, this is why we don't get any respect. And again, I'll be goddamned if some nigga gonna show up with some fucking Greek letters acting like as though they about that life. Acting like they deserve, not only about that life, like they actually gonna put work in and do something. Okay, and risk bodily harm, because that is what you would be risking. But to actually stand there with your motherfucking chest out and act like, oh, we are, us Kappas, we doing big things. Us Alphas, we doing big things. Us Qs, we doing big things. When I was in college, I used to sit there and look at the Qs like, yeah, you don't want to fuck with the Qs, because they up there sticking their tongue out, looking like they doing the goddamn haka dance, that New Zealand shit, right? Biting girls on the ass and everything. But it's like somebody's told me a long time ago, nigga, you ain't a gangster using college. And the reality is most of these black men that go to college, when they go out there and they get their good job, you got maybe one or two out of maybe like 20 black men that are in college that actually come from the hood, that actually came from that street life and made it the fuck out and are not the ones to fuck with. The rest of them, a bunch of bitch boys. A bunch of bitch boys who crossed the fuck over because they wasn't good enough for the football team or the basketball team, the non-athletic, non-built ass motherfuckers with their bow ties and shit, who, when they in a pack, they talk all that shit. Oh yeah, there's 4 of you and you're up against one GDI. Like, so the fuck what? Like, that's college. You know what I'm saying? But when you graduate college and now you out of college, nobody fights anymore. Nigga, you'll get shot. And the cowardice in these individuals is no different than any other cowardice in any other educated lane. If they was about that life, then nigga, why are you scared to go live in that community and clean it up yourself? That's supposed to be your community. That's supposed to be your Wakanda. But they not going to do that. They not going to do that. On top of the fact that I already know, as someone who's been an adult for over a decade, okay, I already know that most of these niggas they don't exercise a Second Amendment right, because I'm looking at nothing but a bunch of 30-something-year-old black men that I can't even convince about their Second Amendment rights. So why would I be running around scared of some motherfucking niggas running around with some goddamn letters when I already know that by the time they in their 30s, okay, they probably settled down, got a wife and kids, don't even live in the black community, and don't have any damn guns. You see, they so scared of fucking comp. They ain't about to do shit. They ain't about to go in there and organize and figure out who the fuck shot this little black girl or head. They not about to go and do that. You see? They not about to do that. See, I already know the cowardice that exists in them, because I already know the cowardice that exists in the majority of educated lames. Just because the motherfuckers got some letters don't make them any different than any of the other educated lames, any of the other GDIs that are out here. They try to act like, because they got all this Greek shit that actually means something. You know what I'm saying? First off, this shit is retarded, because all that's they over there trying to emulate some skull and bones type of shit. Greek, nigga, ain't you African? Aren't you of West African descent? And y'all up there talking about we a Greek organization? Who the fuck were you trying to imitate? On top of the fact that you already know these organizations have most likely been infiltrated when it comes to the upper management, the upper people, the upper crust of these black organizations. First off, you already know how us young black folks already feel about these old ass niggas already. When they coming out, they talking about, the cops is coming out to get us. They talking about the Donald Trump is a racist, the white supremacist is out here and everything. And all these old ass niggas, both black male and female, all they ever want to push is fucking gun control. When we are the ones that are of the age, if some shit were to pop off, we the ones that's going to be doing all the goddamn fighting. If some shit were to pop off, it ain't going to be them. They not going to be the ones the ones out there, throwing them slugs back. Truth be told, they only want to pass gun control because they don't want anybody to have any more power than them, because these old ass niggas in the black community across the board never want to pass the fucking baton of fucking power. That's why you see in fucking Africa when you got these 90-year-old African presidents and shit like that. Meanwhile, European countries are putting people in their fucking 30s in fucking leadership roles. Hell, the president of freaking El Salvador, I think it is fucking 37 years old. Meanwhile, we're going to progress with 90-year-old black people that are stuck in their ways. I don't have no respect for black Greek fraternities and everything. I ignore them most of the time. I leave them alone. They're non-entities to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody can sit here. No person that's fucking not Greek can tell you about what Greeks have accomplished. You know what I mean? And then this person tried to challenge me with, well, you need to look it up. That's because you don't know. That's not my problem if I don't know. If I don't know, it shows how shitty your motherfucking reputations are. If I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I should see that shit on the black news that doesn't exist, coming out of a black newspaper that doesn't exist. That's where I should get that information from. I should know about your works. If you the baddest motherfuckers that's out here, but y'all not. Y'all do a little turkey drive here, right? You do a little soup kitchen here and there. You do a little clothing drive here and there. And I'm not knocking it. But again, like, y'all are not active in the community like that. You're not. Not where it fucking matters. I watched the News One with it was freaking Roland Martin, and it was actually a good interview that they had where they were actually saying many of the things that I'm saying right now, where they're questioning, this whole, where's the black power with the Greek life? Like I said, niggas don't even got houses and shit like that with the letters on the side of it. I don't know one black person who was in a black fraternity and they actually had a house. Not one. Not one. And I know quite a few black people that were in Greek life. They never had no houses. The white kids got houses. Freaking what are the white fraternities that they got out there? Kappa Alpha, Pica, which is the Jewish fraternity, right? Sigma Nu and shit like that. They got all these fraternities and whatnot. They all got houses, right? But the black fraternities, no house at all. You know what I mean? They doing fucking, they shit at somebody's apartment, learning step moves and shit like that because they don't have a fucking house. But yet they want to sit there and brag and tell you about how powerful they are and what they're doing. Like these, I don't know when this shit fell off. I'm saying I'm pretty sure that the founding fathers of these black fraternities were some kick-ass individuals. But over the decades, that shit has waxed and waned. Them niggas don't got no power. They got no real influence. They have no impact in the community. You know? You may get like one old nigga that jumps up and he's doing something and then he'll claim that he's repping his fraternity. But it's just like it's like one person and then maybe like another person will like join him. You know? But like collectively as a group, and the thing is what pisses me off about these niggas, you always see them. They always make sure that they go to those annual events and shit. They always go to a bunch of old niggas with they fucking pins and shit and they fucking bow ties and tan, tan ass fucking suits and shit, Bernie Mac suits. Right? And them niggas, yeah, they always go to that shit. They take a bunch of photos. They got the fucking candy canes. I don't give a fuck about niggas with no goddamn candy canes. I'm talking about black men with AR-15s. And that's another reason I don't respect these niggas. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I challenge these niggas to challenge whatever group of black men that I would fucking organize, because we would be armed. Y'all niggas out there talking about gun control and shit like that, pushing a democratic fucking agenda. I'm talking about black men being armed. I don't give a fuck what your political affiliation is. And that's another thing when it comes to just the whole manhood shit. Like, the most alpha individuals that come in the room are the ones that take fucking control. By force or finance or whatever influence they fucking have. And I don't see that from the black fraternities. I don't see them coming in and moving and shaking and people, they tremble in their wake when they walk in. Please, nigga, please, man. You know what I'm saying? Once these niggas graduate college, like, they don't do shit. All the niggas that I know that was on some Greek shit, oh, they go to the events and all that other stuff, right? In the Kappas, they marry in the Alphas and all this other bullshit, right? But they're not doing anything in the community. They don't participate in any aspect of any of these. How many Greek people have you heard in these conversations? And I only found one video that even addressed any of this shit, coming from a brother called Goss Speaks. And the video was posted back in, I think, 2017 or 2016. And it only has 5 likes and 172 views. And this brother is a Greek. He's an alpha. And he's criticizing the shit. He's like, yo, where are we with all the fucking... This is back when the Alton Sterling got killed. And he was like, where is the black fraternities and shit? In the Roland Martin video, they were talking about how when it came down to the Mike Brown or some shit, Black Lives Matter protesting and shit, I think it was a black sorority sent out memos talking about don't rock your letters. Don't rock your letters because we don't want you to be affiliated with it. See, it's that type of bougie ass shit. Oh, don't wear your letters now because you're worried about how it's going to look. You worry about your white masters and your overlords and what they're going to think and whatever political connections and everything else like that, because you up there openly challenging white supremacy. Oh, I see it now. Like, I don't know when black Greek organizations fell the fuck off. But they're not what they once were or what they claim to be or have that level of influence. It's the same as my criticism about the criticism about the Nation of Islam, which when I get my old hard drive, I'm gonna re-upload that video since my original channel got shut down. I have to re-upload that video about the Nation of Islam. But I mean, talk about burning me the fuck up. Talk about pissing me off. Again, I had to humble myself as a so-called educated lame about how not motherfucking special I am and about how much, we as a collective of so-called educated black men haven't done shit. And the black Greeks are very much a part of that number. And How dare they sit there and try to act like, oh, we out here doing big things. Oh, you don't know. Oh, you don't know. That's not my motherfucking problem if I don't know. I don't know because obviously your shit isn't significant enough. Obviously you're not being seen and being fucking visible enough. Hell, the black Greek people haven't even been in part of the conversation on motherfucking line. Hell, you already know that they're not going to be up there having conversations about colorism because many of them engage in colorism, which is why when you go over there and you look at the AKAs, it ain't nothing but a bunch of light-skinned bitches. It ain't nothing but a bunch of light-skinned bitches up there in the deltas. Oh, they just so happen to be majority big booty dark-skinned women. Like, those stereotypes still hold true. Still hold true. So, they're not going to address any bullshit they actively out here participating in. And that's just the bullshit. But, I mean, like, again, you already know what's fucked up when you got freaking Aaron Magruder with Boondocks when he did that Uncle Ruckus and BET thing where it was like Uncle Ruckus joined BET and BET gave him a show and he has BET as an evil organization, and then he has Uncle Ruckus talking about the black fraternities. You ever heard of these nigger fraternities? And he was going in on them, and everything he said in there was hilarious because it was fucking true. White men be going out here earning Nobel Peace Prizes. Black men out here be doing funny shit with their hands and dancing with candy canes and shit. The other thing that was brought up, and I've already known this, and I used the term when I was talking to this woman that was pissing me off, is that they're tribal. These organizations are tribal. Like I think the AKAs, like last year, they raised $1 million for scholarships for Spelman or some shit like that. I forget what it was, but they raised like $1 million in like 72 hours. Whoop-de-doo. You do realize that only 20% of black people go to college, right? So if you're not in college, they ain't fucking with you. And if you're not in Greek life, they ain't fucking with you. So how is it that you expect to gain respect from the collective of a community where people are not educated and people didn't go to college? Or I shouldn't say not educated, but they didn't go to college. How is it that you expect to sit there and walk in a room and gain this sort of magical automatic respect? Like, these people are just as bad as the old niggas that think they get respect for just being old when they laid no foundations for future generations. It's like, damn, it's bad enough that the generation that came before us didn't provide any economic opportunities for today's generation. It's bad enough that they didn't lay the economic floor in the fucking community, despite, the 40 and 50 years of their adult existence. And now they're saying, oh, even though shit is even more racist and black people are even more marginalized, and we see how, with all these people with all these cell phone cameras, how white people are showing their natural white ass, now we're going to go up there and we're going to co-sign your disarmament. So I'm like, so we don't have any economic floor and you're going to disarm us. I'm like, yeah, somebody needs to take these old ass niggas the fuck out. This is just like these people need to be removed from whatever fake ass position of power people think that they're fucking in. They need to be removed because they're not helping contribute to anything. Like, it's just I've seen it. I've witnessed it. And these people, like, when you talk to them, even just on a one-on-one, oh, I'm not going to do that. Oh, I'm not going to be bothered with that. You know what I mean? They stay narrowly in their, like, if you talk to them, they'll have you thinking the black community is just on this upward trend, this upward spiral of upward mobility. And that's far from the truth. But because, I guess I would think the black community is just doing awesome right now if I was only hanging around a whole bunch of freaking black boule type of people. Them Jack and Jill type of black folks. Yeah, I guess I would think that. And I understand that in the South, there's more connections in the South and there's more organization in the South than there is in the Northeast. Black fraternities hold no weight in the Northeast. I can tell you that. They hold no weight. But in the South, it's narrowly focused on just the people who go to college and, focus on themselves. If they do have networks, those are in-house networks. Ain't nobody else being a part of those networks. But my whole thing is where do these people get the audacity to think that all the GDIs are going to give them some respect? Not just the GDIs that went to college, but the GDIs that didn't go to fucking college. The ones that's out there struggling every day trying to make ends meet. And these people have done nothing to contribute to enhancing their lives and enhancing, their overall quality of living. You know what I'm saying? There is no black agenda. There hasn't been a black agenda. Again, maybe the founding mothers and fathers, they had black agendas, but there is no black agenda. You know what I mean? The black people in the political atmosphere have failed black people miserably. They have failed black people. And again, it's one thing to sit there and you just want to be bougie and sip on your wine glass with your pinky out and everything and rub shoulders with white folks and whatnot. Okay, it's one thing if you want to do that. It's a completely another thing when you sit up there and you actually stand there with your motherfucking chest out and act like you are deserving of praise. Nigga, for what? For what? Have you looked at the black community lately? What do? You see all the murders in Philadelphia and you sit there and you go, oh, shit, I ain't got nothing to do with me. Is that what you do? I am sick and tired of being a black man and having the shitty ass reputation that we have. The lack of response reputation. Hell, street niggas got more credit than y'all. You know what I'm saying? And just like as I pointed out how street niggas identify in educated lanes that they ain't about shit. Nigga, you ain't a thug using college. Okay? The same thing I'm going to say about these black boule people, these black fraternity Greek people. Because I'm like, oh, you got a good job? Yeah, that's nice to know. Thank you for letting me know that you ain't about shit. You ain't about shit. You ain't strapped. You're not going to do anything that's going to politically violate your standing in whatever circle it is that you're in. And typically these are white circles. These people are, they link up on the weekends and whatnot, but typically these people are in white organizations, and they're the token Negro for each of one of these organizations. And they come together to talk about black success and shit like that. But they're isolated. They're isolated. They don't have their own companies like that. If they did, I'm like, well, shit. Why is it that you got all these young black men in Baltimore that ain't hired? Where are the paths being built? If you say, oh, well, they're not educated, where are the paths being built to get them educated so that they get the skills so that you could hire them with the businesses that I already know that you don't have? I mean, it's frustrating to have to sit there and listen to somebody who wants to defend their fucking fraternity or sorority, try to act like, like they're just out here doing big things. I'm like, do you not know what's going on out here? Like, are you that closed off from the world? Like, they exist in their own world. Like, I'm like, where have you been in the black conversations on YouTube? Not saying that YouTube is the only place where these conversations are being had, but it's a pretty big place. You would think that there would be some people, talking about the shit, talking about what's not being done. And again, as somebody who was criticized, and defender of the educated lames, and who had to humble themselves about what we aren't collectively doing, to have somebody who I already know isn't in the conversation, isn't woke, and then they walk in the room and then they start talking about what they think and feel their organization has been done, and we've already broken down every aspect of what's not being done in the black community, and then they just walk in the room with their delusion about how, my fraternity is doing things over here and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, nigga, get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. I ain't got time for that shit. That shit burns me up. You know, they want to tell you about these marginal achievements. It ain't really doing anything. I don't want to knock anybody for doing what they're doing. At least we're doing something. That's as bad as white people with the gun control. They need to do something. Do what? Do what? What that's going to actually stop criminals from committing crimes? You do realize that criminals don't follow the law. That's the nature of being a criminal. So what are you trying to pass that's going to stop criminals from doing what they're doing, but isn't going to affect the law-abiding citizens, which it shouldn't affect? It's about shit being effective. It's not just about, well, I'm doing something. You know, this whole putting a Band-Aid on a hemorrhaging wound. I don't understand that shit. And then actually standing there with your hands on your hip like you're motherfucking Superman, like you actually did anything. God, that shit pisses me off. You know, but what's his name? Goss Speaks, not Gross Speaks. Goss Speaks. You know, this video is like 3 years old. 172 views, 5 likes, 0 dislikes, 1 comment. 1 comment. You know, and the other thing that pissed me off about what she said, and I said at the beginning of the video, is, you know, well, we're not the problem. Don't criticize us because we're not the problem. Whoa. What you mean don't criticize you because you're not the problem? You was the one sitting there bigging up your shit like y'all was actually out here doing big things. Then when I called you out on the fact that y'all ain't out here doing big things, now you want to say, well, we're not the problem. We're not causing the damage. I'm like, really? That's as bad as educated lames sitting there, acting like they're deserving of praise, and then as soon as they get called out for not doing anything, then they sit there and say, well, at least I'm not a Ray Ray and Pookie. Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, at least we're not a Ray Ray and Pookie, but that doesn't mean that you're deserving of the type of respect that you would get for actually going out there and addressing and fixing the fucking problem. Like I said, I already know that there's a problem with black men when it comes to the fucking self-defense and the Second Amendment and shit. And at the end of the day, you know, when it comes to the type of savagery that I'm seeing in Philadelphia right now, that's all over the fucking news, okay, you're going to have to put some people down, okay? If the cops ain't going to do it, which we already know 93% of all law enforcement is Caucasian. I don't know what percentage of the Philadelphia Police Department is, what do you call it, black. You know, I think it's got a slightly higher percentage. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the cops can't be everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, there needs to be black men standing on the corner with AR-15s like, yo, this is our block. And I don't understand it about so-called educated black men. We go move out to the burbs, move into another man's patriarchy, and like we don't take any pride in the fact that, like, this isn't our community. Like, and our community is fucked up. Like, that's what we should be taking pride in or wanting to defend. Like, that's your reputation. But what we try to do as educated black men, Greek and non-Greek, is try to distance ourselves from that. Oh, nah, you know, that ain't us. We ain't got nothing to do with that. So you got a black girl that got basically executed, shot in the back of the head, with other family members that were also killed. And, you know, that doesn't reflect on you as a black man. So Ray Ray and Pookie runs around the community and runs amok and does whatever the fuck Ray Ray and Pookie wants to do, and you got no response. Not to mention, that's not even going over here and addressing the issue with white supremacy or racist white cops and shit. You seen the brother that recently got pulled over and the cop was sitting there digging for shit, so asking him how, like 50 times whether he smoked marijuana because he was driving around in a nice car. You know what I'm saying? Where is this shit being addressed? Like I said, man, if you a black man and you don't have an AR-15, if you a black man and you don't have a CCW or at least a handgun, like, we can't be friends, yo. Like, if I ever had an organization that I put together with any black men, that is a minimum requirement. There's a minimum requirement. Because that's where the shit matters. All this Greek shit and everything, them niggas don't do shit after they graduate school. Most of them niggas that join that shit to get pussy points. Because the only niggas that was getting pussy in college were niggas that was on the football team, basketball team, or whether you was in the Greek life. And don't get me started on how the niggas in the Greek life defiled the so-called their precious black woman and all the skeeting that was going on in college when I was in college. Don't even get me started on that shit. All the way that them Greek niggas was running through bitches, especially the motherfucking Qs. They're known for that shit, running up and biting bitches on the ass. Where is that respecting your black woman? Where's all that talk? Niggas is full of shit. And as soon as they get out of that shit, they don't participate in anything. You get a couple ones that go off, they land decent jobs because they majored in the right shit. You know what I mean? And they got their little bougie network and everything. You know what I mean? And they up there, at the fucking, parties and shit in DC and shit, and motherfuckers calling and shit, yo, hoi, hoi, all that bullshit. Bullshit. Motherfuckers got lead in the water and shit, and you up there fucking making all these fucking nature calls and shit, your little fucking mating calls and shit. It's bullshit. Got fucking lead in the water, large homicides rates. You know what I'm saying? Black people disproportionately in fucking poverty. You got Elon Musk, he rolling out all these motherfucking robots and shit. Black people going to become a permanent underclass, unemployed and underemployed. Got niggas in college majoring in the wrong shit. I know how many niggas I see. Oh, what are you majoring in? Oh, we're majoring in business administration. Oh, you're gonna manage the businesses that black people don't even have right now. That's what you're going to do. Oh, I get it. You're going to manage the white man's businesses because, the white man has so much confidence in your ability to manage his business when black people don't even have their own businesses to manage. I'm like, brilliant, fucking brilliant. The only thing that niggas should be majoring in right now is computer science, point blank, period. That's what they should be majoring in. Not any of this other bullshit. It's just frustrating. It's so frustrating. I don't know any other way that I can fucking express this. And people are like, oh, aren't you scared of what am I scared of the motherfucking Greeks running up on me? Fuck no, I ain't scared of them niggas running up. First off, most of them niggas don't even fucking carry. They not about that Second Amendment. Go ahead and look online and type in black fraternities, right? These are organizations that are supposed to be for the empowerment of black people. Just type in black fraternities, Second Amendment shit. Are there any black fraternities telling black men, taking them to the gun range, saying you a black man in America and you need to learn how to defend yourself with a firearm? I bet you they not. They on there. Well, Master said we don't need no guns. And the first thing I type up, then I type in Second Amendment shit, is the motherfucking Deltas talking about we need gun control. Don't get me started on black women and gun control when on Monday they'll be screaming, we need gun control. On Tuesday, when some fucked up shit happens, they'll be jumping up and down talking about the black man doesn't protect us. Protect you with what, bitch? The guns that you just had banned? The fuck? This is us. This is us as a community. And it's and these are all the people that are supposed to be the fucking leaders, and there's no common sense. There's just no common sense. No common sense. Oh, you shouldn't be mocking the black. So the fuck what? What the fuck are they gonna do? They not doing shit in the community. Think I'm worried about these niggas? Again, you ain't a gangster. You's in college. You ain't a gangster. You's educated. You got a good job from the white man and you live in the suburbs and shit. You ain't about to throw all that away, nooka. Again, same thing street niggas say about educated dudes. They don't fear us. That's why they just running around in the community, violating people and everything else. On top of the fact that we got all this fucking racism and white supremacy and all that shit that we got to fucking deal with. But then we got all this in-house problems that no black men are addressing. None of the so-called good ones, Greek and non-Greek. Nobody's addressing the shit. So fuck am I gonna be sitting around scared about what was some Qs gonna run up on me? I hope they strapped. And if they strapped, before they kill me, I probably congratulate their ass and say, nice to see that you actually got the balls to fucking have a strap, nigga. Sick of this shit. Got all these fucking problems. You can't deal with the Pookies in the community. You can't deal with the white supremacy and the racists in your community, or the ones outside the community that affect you. I mean, that's sad, man. I mean, that's just a sad state of affairs. And that's our reputation collectively. Collectively as black, I don't give a fuck about your Greek letters. I don't give a fuck about whatever organization that you're in. This shit transcends all that bullshit. The bottom line is you a black man and your house is broken. You a black man and your house is shitty. Your neighborhoods is fucked up. Again, street niggas got more credibility than y'all. Not only do people know that they gonna put in the work, not only do they know that they'll run up and put a fucking bullet in your ass, you know what I'm saying, but they're better organized. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got a whole culture. Everybody in the black community want to be them. Nobody wants to be your lame ass. Nobody wants to be you. Nobody wants to jump up and down with the fucking candy canes and shit like that. Nobody wants to do that shit. They don't want to do none of that shit. Cause first off, the price of entry is too damn high. Oh yeah, go to college and put yourself in debt, and then go beg a white man for a job. Where is the programs from these black fraternities to help black people get out of college debt? Where are these type of things? They don't exist. Or if they do exist, they're on such a small scale that nobody fucking knows about it. Or it's to the point where it's so tribal and it's so in-house that it only impacts the people who are a part of the Greek life. And again, if you want to say, well, this is only for the Greeks, well, then don't sit there and have your chest out trying to get collective community respect for shit that doesn't impact the collective rest of the black community. You don't get that respect, nor do you deserve it. Every time I see one of these old niggas with the pins on their shirt, gun control, not doing anything. I mean, in other words, you know what's so fucked up about the gun control coming from old black men, Greek, non-Greek, whatever, is it demonstrates their failure. Because you know why they want gun control? Because they think that, well, if Pookie can't have a gun, then Pookie won't be committing crimes and terrorizing the community, right? That illustrates their thinking process. That illustrates the fact that they don't look at it from the standpoint of, damn, I wish I had a gun so that I could deal with and handle Ray Ray and Pookie and these criminals and murderers and rapists and everything else and drug dealers that are violating the people and contributing to even more problems within our own community. As a group of men, there's no posse of black men saying, oh, I'm going to handle that shit. We going to deal with this shit. We sick and tired of this shit. Nah, there's none of that. It's a passive aggressive approach. It's like a fucking woman. That's how women think. Because women always see themselves on the barrel end of a gun. They never see themselves behind the fucking gun. Even though a woman is perfectly capable of wielding a firearm, as the Russians very effectively demonstrated during World War II with female snipers. You want to talk about real gender equality? You want to talk about real female empowerment? I mean, I don't know how anybody doesn't see this as being a problem. No black men in the community, I don't care what organization you are a part of, no black men in the community are in a position to stick their motherfucking chest out. No black men are in that position. Not when you got shit like this going on. And again, just go and Google Philadelphia gun violence and shit like that. You know, and what's the response? Where's the organization? Where are the black fraternities in Philadelphia? I'm talking to you over there at Temple. Where they at? Where they at? There's no response. Even when it comes to the old heads, fuck it. Let the college students just continue on with their classes, right? Because they're not old enough to even be able to carry a gun, the vast majority of them, right? Because they're not 21 yet. But I'm talking about the ones after they graduate. Where are they at? Where is the continuation of the Greek life? As soon as they done, that's it. You don't see them niggas. I don't see motherfuckers walking around with purple and gold jackets and friggin' the most I'll see is a freaking license plate. Not to mention the ones that's rocking the license plates and all that other shit. They're not even of my generation. They're of previous generations. They're from the fucking, they went to school in the 70s and shit. But the black people that are young and that shit has zero impact on their life. The people that I went to school with, zero impact on their life. Like I said, they may go to a cookout or two or some shit like that. But in terms of being movers and shakers and networks, I'm sitting there like, damn, like I'm not sitting around with regret like, damn, man, if I was a Kappa or if I was a Q or a Sigma or whatever, oh man, I would be able to be a part of such and such an organization and get money like they getting money. Nobody says that. Nobody says that. Hell, I didn't say that even before I went to college. I wasn't like, oh man, I gotta be a Greek because I know so many Greeks that's getting so much goddamn money, and so networked and shit, man, and they married and they got beautiful wives and kids and they all living in the same community. Man, I'm trying to get in with them. I'm trying to be a part of that. No, it wasn't that shit. Niggas joined these fraternities to get some motherfucking pussy. That's what they joined the fraternities to get, some pussy. Get me some letters so I can get some pussy. I know niggas that they were nobodies. They were nobodies until they crossed over. Then they crossed over and the women were like, ah! And they may have been the nobodies of the niggas in their own fraternity. And then you had a chick that would link up with them and then try to leap, like freaking hypergamous leap, to the next dude. Because now she could go to the party. Because the boyfriend number one joined the fraternity and then she would go and break up with him and then try to get at somebody else in the fucking fraternity. And shit like that did go down. Niggas in the same brotherhood, the same fraternity and shit be fucking other niggas' bitches. That shit went on too. I just don't understand the arrogance. It's like educated lame arrogance times 10, right? Because it's like educated black men that go to college, they're already arrogant because, they were told their whole lives that, all black men, they go to jail and they're Ray Ray and Pookies and everything else like that. Yeah, so when you not that, you thinking like, yeah, like don't I get any praise? Especially when you see the way that black women get praise. They're all strong and independent and going to the moon and back. And, all they got to do is have a degree in fucking communications and everybody's acting like, but a black man, it's like, oh, nigga, don't act like you special. Just because you got a degree. Meanwhile, with the women, it's like, they're going to be the next Michelle Obama. Let them tell it. Right. So a lot of us we were fed that. To keep us focused on school, but the reality is once you get out there, it's not like that. So then you throw the Greek shit on top of that. Oh my God, like it's just the arrogance is just. I mean, can you niggas fit your head through the goddamn doors? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just frustrating. Like, do you honestly believe that your Greek status supersedes the reputation of black men as a whole and as a collective? You really think that shit is a big enough shield to shield you from the criticism of the responsibilities that black men have to the community that we are not collectively living up to? You really honestly believe that? That you could sit there and be like, hey man, hey, I'm Greek, man. Like, shit ain't got nothing to do with that. Right? You really believe that? And my whole thing is, I'll be real, I would love to have a coalition of black men that are actually about that life. Like, fuck, I give more credit to the fucking Detroit 300. They was out there in them streets. You know what I'm saying? Where the Kappas at? Where the Qs at? Where the Alphas at? Where they at? I don't see them out there policing. No, because the whole college thing gives black men the wrong orientation to begin with. Because most of them are trying to live a comfortable lifestyle, and that's it. They're not really warriors for the fucking community. Most of them join the fraternity just to get pussy. That's why they signed up for the shit. You know, because they went from being a nobody to somebody. I take pride in being a motherfucking GDI, being a goddamn individual, and not having to have a sense of self-worth and identity based on being a part of some other organization. Oh, it's wonderful to be a part of an organization, but you should know who the fuck you are before you get up in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? The organization is supposed to have a purpose. It's not about giving you an identity. It's about you having a fucking purpose. What is the goal of the organization? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was going to be a Navy SEAL, what's the purpose of being a Navy SEAL? To take out the motherfucking terrorists. That's the purpose of the shit. And that's what the fuck they do. They take out terrorists. They kick in your motherfucking front door, hit you with the flashbang, take you down with the SD MP5. That's what the fuck they do. Then they get to walk around with their fucking Navy SEAL tattoos and all that other shit. Then they get to run around and fucking drill all these fake ass people who are running around pretending to be Navy SEALs. If you go on YouTube and pull up the clips, they don't play that shit. But they've earned the ability to do that because they put in work. I hear all these black fraternities talking about, oh, they put in work. Oh, you can't say ski wee or yo ho hoy or whatever the fuck they say and all that other bullshit. You can't say that because you didn't put in work for what? Because you got hazed? Because that's you putting in work? Again, we talking about the community, y'all. We talking about the community. If you want community level respect, then you got to put in community level work. Community level work. Nobody gives a fuck about your secret handshake, your special dance, okay? Nobody gives a fuck about the white boy Sam, dusting his shoulders off. Nobody gives a fuck. When you got people out here starving, ducking bullets, kids going to school with no shoes on, no jackets on and everything. And again, the only reason I'm even saying anything about these black fraternities and whatnot, and again, the conversation I was having and the woman just fucking enraged me. But I brought this up before in one of my old videos about black fraternities. And I'm saying it now, because I've come across these black Greek individuals, and I don't really say anything. I just kind of leave it alone. They don't really try to push back too hard. You know what I mean? But I always had a great level of irritation in terms of the type of respect that they feel that they deserve. And again, me being an educated lame who had to humble myself, I'm like, nigga, humble yourself. Real talk. We, I know you see me as a fucking GDI, but we as educated black men, which you are in the same fucking boat as I am, okay? We collectively haven't done enough to deal with these situations. And truth be told, most of us don't want to, because we're living a comfortable lifestyle, a comfortable suburban lifestyle with our nice, comfortable, cushy job that we got from the white man's, right? And y'all niggas ain't about to sacrifice that shit. And again, because of that, street niggas don't gotta worry about you running up on them, because you're not going to. Ain't no Q's gonna be running up on Ray Ray and Pookie and all these Bloods and Crips and everything else and Gangster Disciples or whoever else you want to fucking name. Y'all ain't running up on them. So stop it. Stop it with, our organization is so strong with y'all non-Second Amendment, non-gun carrying, exercising motherfuckers. I mean, why don't they just make the having a firearm a part of the Kappa routine and shit? You got white women over there. What was that? That white woman at Kent State that took the photo on campus with an AR-15. And you got black people. They want to talk. Like I said, black people want to exercise every right in the motherfucking Constitution except for the second one. They want to tell you about every constitutional law. That's my First Amendment right. Officer, that's my Fourth Amendment right. I don't consent to unlawful search and seizures. Officer, you're violating my 14th Amendment, the 13th and 14th Amendment. You know, they come up with all that shit. Officer, I will not incriminate myself. I invoke the Fifth Amendment. They say all that shit. What about the Second Amendment? We don't exercise that shit. You know what's really sad? Part that really pisses me off? You know what scares black folks just as much as white folks? A black man with a gun. A young black man with a gun. So who's really racist? Is it white folks? Or is it us being racist to ourselves? Because I see zero encouragement of black men knowing anything about fucking firearms. But yet, there's always some call coming from somewhere, usually the feminist bitches in the back squawking about the black woman is not protected. The community is not protected. Our children are not protected. But yet, nobody supports young black men knowing anything about fucking firearms. We're just such a backwards people, yo. We're like ass backwards, like ass hat backwards, yo. Ass hat backwards. And nobody sees it. Nobody looks at it, examines it. It's like, you know what? This is like fucked up. Like, I see black fraternities no different than fucking when people go to church. It's entertainment. It's what it is. Let's call it that. It's entertainment. It doesn't deserve the type of respect that people want to get it. It's just as bad. It's like fucking, like the hoteps that run around and scream about how great black people were in ancient Africa. And I'm like, well, motherfucker, we're not great today. Are we great today? You know what I'm saying? How come, I had a black boy ask that question. And I try to tell these people in Philadelphia, I was like, I understand that you want to do this whole African training thing, build self-esteem up and everything. But sooner or later, you're going to have to answer the question of, why aren't we great today? And lo and behold, that question motherfucking came up. I knew it was going to come up. Because when you're hearing all this shit, you're like, damn, okay, yeah, we pyramids and all this other shit. You talking all this shit, right? Then all of a sudden, like, it's like, okay, well, why aren't we there now? Yeah, the smart one he's gonna ask that question. That's the little nigga that asks, how plants get energy from sunlight. That's the little nigga that asks why strawberries have seeds on the outside and all other fruits have seeds on the inside. That's that smart little nigga, I mean, everything we do as a group, all our organizations, they're all fucking jokes, man. Everything we do is not black empowerment. Nothing about it is black empowerment. Nothing about it is fix the community. Nothing about it is get rid of the crime. Nothing about it is get ourselves to a point that we're not negatively affected by the system of white supremacy and the fucked up shit that white people as a collective can do to the black community. So that we don't have to tell sad stories about how we were exploited in the housing market in Chicago and that whole rent to buy bullshit. Where black people would lose their homes that they were literally almost finished paying 75% of the fucking mortgage on. Or redlining or blockbusting. Where they wouldn't give business loans to black people and who lived in certain neighborhoods, which stifled the black economy. I've said before, black people were way better off underneath segregation. All you got to do is just type in black community 1920s on YouTube, and you'll see the video clip come up of black people out there in Tulsa and what they were doing. Had oil fields and shit like that. As soon as integration popped off, or I shouldn't call it integration because we didn't integrate, desegregation. Okay, because we didn't integrate economically, we integrated socially, and that's what these black fraternities have become. It's a social thing. I mean, even the guy said it in the video. When it's time to, what did he say? Party and something else. What's the other term that he used? Party and what the fuck was it? I forget what it was. Anyway, he just said basically when it's time to party, they come out. But when it comes to like setting up the event and doing all that sort of stuff, the paper, they don't want to do that. No, they don't want to do that. This is something that Chica Oyanyani talked about in his book Capitalist Nigger. You know, you get these people that they want to own their own businesses because they have this expectation that they're going to be, I'm going to own my own business. You know what I mean? And I'm going to open up the company and then immediately take a 3-week vacation. Like, no, motherfucker, you're going to be opening up the store at 5 o'clock in the morning. What you mean you're going to take a 3-week vacation? That's your shit. And I don't understand why black men don't look at the black community as a collective like that's our shit. Maybe it's because it's a matriarchy. Maybe it's because the government came in there and, you know, they got the welfare state and all that other stuff. You know, so it's not like there aren't reasons. But at the same time, it's like, so let me get this right. So you're going to let the system of white supremacy just come in there, you know, and just kick you out, and that's it? You're not going to try to fight for it back? You're not going to try to reclaim it? You're not going to try to, you know, correct the problem? And I'm saying, even like, again, I grew up in the burbs. Educated niggas can't fucking get around me on this one. I already know how black educated men in the white suburbs don't communicate with each other. They don't hang out with each other. They don't interact with each other. You know? And we've all seen these old black men that they went to college, don't even know if they finished college. But you always see them, especially the Qs. Y'all real bad with that. Y'all got a bunch of old dusty niggas running around. They got the purple hat. They got the sweater. They branded. All of the type of shit, right? Got the cut-off sleeves. They always got a cut-off sleeve. The shirt is so old and tired. Like, they haven't gotten a new one embroidered. You know, like, the shirt's just old and tired and shit like that. And they running around like it's some gang shit. And I'm like, again, even gang members don't respect that shit because they know that you don't have any power and influence. Oh, you went to college. Oh, good for you. Yeah, okay, whatever. Meanwhile, they hand off a freaking kilo of freaking fentanyl laced heroin and shit. I don't see where these niggas is putting in work, man. I just don't. And I'm belaboring the point. Cause after this I'm getting into bed, but I don't see where these niggas are doing anything. And to sit there with your chest out and act like collectively, you know, they making all sorts of moves and they deserve all this respect, that shit will burn me up. You know, I do enough criticizing of black men who run around with a whole bunch of arrogance. And again, that Second Amendment thing, people, before I end this video, that Second Amendment thing is crucial. It is crucial. Because it demonstrates your mentality. If you want to sit there and you want to say America is hostile to black people and whatnot, and you the only black people on the face of planet Earth that can actually arm yourselves and defend yourselves just in case some shit goes down, and you don't exercise that, why would I want to go into business with somebody who thinks like that? You don't prepare for the worst. You only think in terms of the best. And again, I'm not saying don't be positive, but you always got to prepare just in case some shit goes down. But if you're not the preparing type, how are you going to lead anything if you're not the type to prepare for, you don't have any contingency plans in place? You're not the type to prepare for some shit where to go to awry. You're not prepared to deal with the fact that just like in every other community, you're going to have some rogue males. You're going to have some rapists and some murderers and some criminals and some people that you are going to have to confront as a black man. And that's what I was saying earlier about, you know, the whole Second Amendment, the whole anti-Second Amendment attitude. Oh, we got to get rid of the guns and whatnot. As opposed to saying, nah, we need more guns so that we can handle these motherfuckers. Y'all don't, like, again, Individuals pushing for gun control, I already know that they ain't about that life. They ain't about to fight. They ain't about to go out there and do anything. And I'm not even talking like that's something that I want to actively have to go out there and do. I just acknowledge the fact that at some point, you know what I'm saying, that's what it's going to come down to. At some point, some of us are going to have to get our hands dirty. That's just the reality of it. I mean, how you going to have somebody running around the community, killing children, shooting them in the back of the head, killing women, killing other black men and whatnot, right? They don't have no regard for life. They out here, you know, not fearing any fucking retaliation. And you sitting up there and you fearing retaliation from who? From what? From the white man? From the police officers? Again, if we controlled the political landscape, if we had, you know, first off, this was so crazy. Educated lames are the ones that make up all those fucking positions. Your police commissioner and your fucking, you know, your lawyers, your judges, you know, your city council people, right? These are supposed to be made up of some of the brighter people in the community, right? And they should all be on one accord, right? If Ray Ray and Pookie comes down, a known Ray Ray and Pookie comes down and he's violating and doing some shit, and the black police officers roll up who also know who this individual is, and he gets blown away by an educated lame like me, everybody, the judge, the prosecutor, the lawyers, everything, they should be like, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. I remember I was watching the first 48 one time, and it was a guy, he was in a house, black guy. And somebody came to his house and they shot the front of the house up. They just stood in front of the house and they started shooting the front of the house. He was on the second floor. He shot down from the second floor and killed the dude. The cops came, it was a white cop. Cop was like, ain't nothing to see here. Wait, what happened? He was shooting at the house. He shot at the house. Okay, I see the bullet holes and everything else. You said you shot down at him from the window. Oh, there ain't nothing to see here. There's nothing to see. And that was the end of that. You know, if black men are so worried about law enforcement and shit like that, well, then we need to change the political and law enforcement atmosphere so that so-called good black men don't have to worry about certain things when it comes to them handling these issues in the community. That's what it needs to be, which means that you put the police officers that you want in place. You put the police commissioner that you want in place. You put the prosecutor, the district attorney in place that you want in place. You put the mayor, the city council members, all that shit, so that they're able to know and discern whether you are an active contributing member of the community, you know, that's trying to do the right thing, and you got this asshole running around. You know, and they know, oh, yeah, we deal with assholes in a certain way. But see, we don't have that. So you get a bunch of black men, oh, I ain't giving up my job. I'm not giving up my career. I'm comfortable and cushy. And again, Ray Ray and Pookie that's running around the community causing damage and everything, they know that you ain't going to respond. They called your or pulled your bitch ass card a long time ago. All these bow tie wearing niggas, all these pin wearing niggas, all these tan Steve Harvey suit wearing ass niggas ain't gonna do shit. Plain and simple. So they not fearful of them. So I say, why should I be fearful of them? They ain't gonna do shit. You know, and the sad part is, I'm supposed to be on the same team as these niggas. I'm supposed to be on the same team as these Greek black folks. But they running around, ooh, you a GDI and all this other bullshit. And I'm like, what does it matter if I'm a GDI? Y'all niggas wasn't about to do shit anyway. I just fucking acknowledged the shit. I acknowledged the fact that as a representative of the educated lame camp that we not doing shit. We not. You know, that shouldn't open up the door for black women when they come across a decent man to individually be all disrespectful. But we definitely are not deserving of community level respect, patriarchal level respect. you know. And again, my goal is not to sit up in here and just pick on the fucking Greeks, because this criticism applies to black men across the board. I'll just be goddamn if this super small segment of black men is actually gonna sit there with their chest out because they got some Greek letters and act like I'm a special Negro. Like, nigga, fuck out of here. Niggas ain't doing shit. Ain't nobody eating off of you. You know, like, fuck out of here, man. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. That's my rant. That's my video. SWP or New Jersey gun laws out, one or the other. I don't know what channel I'm going to put this under. But anyway, that's all I got to say. That's my video. I'm out.